Coming up on the South Florida High School Football Show, the Hollandale Chargers are charging toward the top of the polls. The Central Rockets are taking dead aim and looking to dominate Miami-Dade County. Troy Drayton has all the information on recruiting, and we'll preview next week's big games. All that and much more on the South Florida High School Football Show. Hello once again, everybody, and welcome to the South Florida High School Football Show. Joe Zagacki, alongside my broadcast partner, former University of Miami center and team captain Don Bailey Jr., as we come to you from the Regal Entertainment Group Theater in Plantation, where we are more than just a movie. About halfway through the high school football season, great high school football being played, Don.
Absolutely, Joe. Some big games have already happened. It's getting some teams tuned up for the playoffs and the home stretch.
One of the teams we're going to kick our coverage off today with played a tremendous game. A week ago, they took on St. Thomas at home. They are really making a name for themselves right now, rising up the polls, ranked #1 in their classification. The Chargers of Hollandale, they're doing a great job. They gave St. Thomas everything they wanted and more. And this is going to be a team that's going to be a factor the rest of the year.
Well, listen, Joe, that started last year. Hollandale had a 10-1 record. They had a lot of confidence going into this season. And when you can give St. Thomas a run for the money, that's going to give you even more confidence as you get towards the playoffs in the end of the season.
They've had a lot of continuity. Damian Jones, a big part of that community and that high school, in his 8th year, and he is building a force.
I think the key is the fact that he has longevity at Hollandale High. When you look at the fact that he has been there, he now has his process in place. He has his strength training in place. He's got the off season going. He has the curriculum. The children understand the curriculum that's going on, the players, and they also understand what it takes to win and expectations.
This past weekend, Hollandale, after that emotional game against St. Thomas, took on Jackson in another very physical game. But let's go back a week to that St. Thomas game, and the quarterback, Tyler Hunter, how about the numbers that he put up? 468 yards, and he threw the ball 65 times, 38 out of 65. This is high school football, throwing it 65 times.
I like the completion percentage. I like the fact that he had success against a quality defense. Not just a secondary, but the entire defense of St. Thomas is one to be reckoned with. When you look at the fact that he was able to have that much of a sense of accomplishment, also allowed to have the time to throw the football and have the completion percentage that he did, that offense is clicking.
Starting this weekend, Hollandale was averaging 36 points a game, giving up about 18 or 19 a game. You know, a couple of years ago, we had a wide receiver from Hollandale right here on our show by the name of Frankie Hammond. Well, now his brother is playing for Hollandale, averaging 20 yards a catch.
Frankie was an outstanding football player, went up to Gainesville, played for the Gators, and now you've got baby brother trying to actually make bigger shoes.
Hollandale trying to hold on to that #1 ranking in Class 5A, and of course, they are in a district that is going to be awfully tough. That includes American Heritage and, of course, Jackson also, who they took on this past weekend. Let's move over to Central High School in Miami-Dade County, and the Rockets had a tough start, lost their opening game to DeMatha at the beginning of the season, but they have been a force ever since.
Sometimes that works to your benefit, Joe. You've got an out-of-conference, an out-of-state game, and you, let's say you lose it, like what happened to Coach Smith and the Central Rockets. It gets the attention of your team. A lot of times teams come in that have had a lot of success, which Central has, and it's hard to get leverage on the players if you're the head coach because it's happened so easy for them. Well, you get smacked around, you get beat the first ball game, all of a sudden everybody's on time and listening and ready to win again.
Central likes to say they don't rebuild, they reload. That would be true for them. The three-time state champions, that would be true for them on defense. They have one of the best defensive squads in Miami-Dade.
Well, what you have to understand is Central swarms to the football. They understand the importance of a takeaway. They understand the importance, of course, of teamwork. They do a great job in the off-season, making sure that they are all on the same page and that everything is executed to perfection.
When Roland Smith was at Northwestern, he had a linebacker by the name of Sean Spence, and now he's got a kid by the name of Donovan Thompson. A lot of people will say, hey, he's a lot like Sean Spence.
Well, for Donovan Thompson, you can't get a higher compliment. Sean Spence did an outstanding job at the University of Miami. He got drafted. He's doing a fine job with the Pittsburgh Steelers. But more importantly, Sean Spence was a guy that understood his role. He provided leadership, and he graduated from college.
Last week, Central held off Booker T 35-28. Right now, they're in the middle of one of those gauntlets in Miami-Dade County. We'll find out a lot about them this past weekend as they took on Carroll City. Next week, they'll play Jackson, but going into this weekend's games, they were outscoring their opponents 27-13. Not dominating, but that's pretty darn good.
No, it isn't dominating like you mentioned, but it's a 2-to-1 number where you're scoring twice as many points as you're giving up. You want to make sure, especially down the stretch, that you squeeze down the defense. You'd like to see those numbers that the defense gives up in single digits, and you want to make sure that you're still clicking on offense.
Roland Smith likes to run the ball, nearly 200 yards a game.
Why wouldn't you love to run the ball? You've got a powerful offensive line. It's what you understand. It eats clock. It allows you to have the play-action game in your arsenal as well, but it helps your defense.
All right, Central at Carroll City this weekend. Big game on October 17th. Could decide the district when they take on Northwestern. Let's go back up to Broward County and revisit a team that we kicked the season off with. That is St. Thomas, and St. Thomas with a chance to win a state championship, perhaps a national championship. We talked earlier about how they were challenged by Hollandale. Probably a good thing for that squad. They've played a tough schedule so far.
That they have, and they are going to be tuned up for the playoffs. And if you can get through the schedule, especially when it's as tough as St. Thomas's is, and it comes time for the playoffs, you're better suited than anybody else. The key for St. Thomas, of course, especially the last half of this season, is to continue to build depth because you never know when the injury is going to hit. Protect the quarterback and play defense.
It's unusual this year. They have to go out and play a lot of different teams because there are only 3 teams in their district, and they're one of them.
Actually, everybody says, well, you can go out and you can work the system, you can do this, it'll be easy to win your conference. You don't want to do that. You like to build the traditional rivalries. You like to have the built-in games that people follow, and you like to have some stability in your schedule. But it also is going to help St. Thomas, in my opinion, with them going outside the circle and playing so many other teams. It will help them win that national championship if they get themselves in a position to.
Jackson Kincaid leads their rushing attack, and of course, when they throw the football, they have Sam Bruce and Trevon Grimes. Grimes had the big touchdown catch last week against Hollandale, so they have plenty of threats on the offensive side.
Well, that they do. They've got a young man named Irving as well, but I like the Sam Bruce. I like the way that he gets in and out of his routes. I particularly focused on him early in the season. I knew I'd have a chance to see him later on, so I watched him early in the season, but he's explosive. He can make plays happen, and he plays bigger than he is, and I think that's important.
Next week, head coach Roger Harriet will be a guest on our show right here on the South Florida High School Football Show, but he's doing a really good job in his first year at STA.
That he is, and it's important to him. He's a guy that went into that school and decided on how he was going to run the program, but also he respected the tradition.
Okay, a good look there at Hollandale and St. Thomas, and of course the Rockets of Central and Miami-Dade County. Good look at all 3 of those teams. Some great football this past weekend. Let's take a look at some of the highlights.
Hey, Joe and Don, I'm Stefano Fusaro with some high school football highlights from the weekend. We start with a couple of Thursday district matches. First one, Everglades Prep at Westminster Christian down in Palmetto Bay. No score till Everglades quarterback Demetrius Burns throws a pick to Westminster's Elbury Gator at midfield. He takes it to the house. The Warriors go on to win 56-0. Northwestern hosting Hialeah Miami Lakes. It was scoreless when the Bulls' Chatarius Atwell finds Carrion Davis for a 20-yard touchdown catch. Northwestern go on to win. It matches the early game score 56-0. Now to Friday. District game up in Pembroke Pines. Flanagan's taking on Miramar. And Flanagan, they dominated this one. Second quarter red zone opportunity. Kalen Nelson finds Cleveland Thomas for another score, and the Falcons go on to win 31-6. If you like defensive games, look away. Hallandale was taking on Jackson, and Chargers quarterback Tyler Huntley had himself a night. Here he finds Damari Simpkins for the deep score, and if one's good, then 2 must be great. Huntley finds Chris Cotto for another deep bomb. Huntley finishes with 7 touchdowns and get this, 515 yards passing on the night. Hallandale takes it 56-38. And another district game, Southwest visiting Belen. This one, it was a defensive battle. The Wolverines sealed the ball game with this touchdown. Lucas Polis finds Ariel Jimenez in the end zone. Belen gets the win at home, 16-10.
The South Florida High School Football Show is sponsored by the Miami Dolphins, Metro PCS, U.S. Army, Vera Cadillac Buick GMC, Tico Peoples Gas, Adidas, and Regal Cinemas.
The following are real customer testimonials.
I'm Lena from Pinecrest. I love my Buick Enclave from Vera Buick. I've bought 2 cars at Vera and I got the best price and they treat me just like family.
Somos Gina y Roy del Doral. Hemos comprado 4 Cadillacs en Vera, donde recibimos el trato familiar sin mencionar el mejor precio en el sur de la Florida.
Our customers said it all. Experience the Vera difference at Vera Cadillac Buick GMC Pembroke Pines. Vera is 4 miles north of Sun Life Stadium.
Bro, just watch what I do.
This the game that shows us. Pioneers started in 24. Bet he don't do it. Lining up the block.
See that, Jimmy?
Masterpiece. That's that new speed.
My name is Gary Baumwald, and my Since moment was my 5th birthday.
Seldom does a team celebrate before a game, but in Miami, Dan Marino and Mark Clayton took time to wish a young Dolphin fan a happy birthday.
Gary, hey man, I want to see if you want another football.
Hey man, thanks. What's up, man?
Each one of us has our Since moment. What's yours?
The South Florida High School Football Show's recruiting segment is sponsored by Metro PCS. Wireless for all.
We are back at the Regal Entertainment Group Theater in Plantation. Joe Zagacki with Don Bailey Jr. right here on the South Florida High School Football Show. Time now to talk about recruiting. So we are going to tee up Troy Drayton on defensive linemen.
Well, Joe, it's a position of need at every university in the country. So if you're a defensive lineman and you're successful and you're in South Florida, people are going to knock on your door to come play.
And you're probably not going to have a championship team unless you have a championship line.
Absolutely. You've got to start with those defensive tackles and build around them.
I have a championship telephone right here. Our LG Metro PCS Optimus F6. What I noticed last week on the show was in order to dial Troy, I was holding the phone further and further away from me. That's a bad sign.
Well, maybe you should put on your glasses.
But this is a great phone, so it doesn't really matter. All right, Troy, let's talk about those defensive linemen.
Thanks, Joe and Don. Now we're getting down to where the awards are won and lost with the defensive linemen of South Florida. Our first lineman is Nick Bosa of St. Thomas Aquinas High School. Nick is 6'3", 250-pound, 5-star recruit. He has worked his way all the way up to being one of the top 5 recruits in the nation. Last year, he had 56 tackles and 5 sacks. Although he's not committed to a school, he is considering Ohio State, Florida, Florida State. He is predicted to attend his dad's alma mater at Ohio State University. Our next D lineman is Joseph Jackson of Gulliver Prep. Joseph is 5'11", 210-pound weak side defensive end with 4.83 speed. This 4-star recruit was predicted to go to Alabama, but Jackson, however, committed to the University of Miami. His speed will allow him to make an immediate impact on the field for the Canes next year. Our next defensive lineman is Brian Burns from American Heritage High School. Brian is 6'5", 212-pound weak side defensive end with 4.76 speed. He has received offers from the University of Miami, Georgia, Florida, and Florida State University, among others. Our next defensive lineman is Eric Mitchell of Miami Central High School. Eric is 6'1", 221-pound, 3-star recruit who is currently committed to the University of Florida. He recently enrolled in Miami Central and looks to make an immediate impact at the weak side defensive end position for the Rockets this season. Our next defensive lineman is Charles Callender from Gulliver Preparatory. Charles is 6'2", 215-pound weak side defensive end. This 3-star recruit is still undecided despite receiving several offers. Northwestern is currently a school at the top of his list. Our last defensive lineman is Kier Thomas from Miami Central. Kier is 6'2", 240-pound, 4-star recruit who is committed to Florida State University. He is playing the strong side defensive end position. Thomas has received 13 offers, including Alabama, Georgia, and the University of Miami. That was our deep class of defensive line. Now back to you, Joe and Don.
All right, Troy, thank you very much. A deep class indeed for this defensive line group this year.
And trust me, Joe, it's never deep enough. That's a position of need, as I mentioned, and the more the merrier.
When we come back, we'll have our Coach of the Week. We'll go up to Chaminade Madonna High School and check in right there on the Lions as we continue on the South Florida High School Football Show.
Tico Peoples Gas is awarding the 7th Annual Player of the Year Awards to a player in Miami-Dade and a player in Broward County. Fans can nominate a player by logging on to southfloridahighschoolfootball.com. Click on the Tico Player of the Year icon. Nominations are open until November 30th. After November 30th, revisit the site and vote for the finalist. The players receive a beautiful crystal trophy, and their school receives a $500 donation. Tune in to our National Signing Day TV show on February the 3rd, where the winners are announced. This Dolphin Players Flashback is sponsored by the Miami Dolphins.
My name is Jordan Kovacs. I'm a safety for the Miami Dolphins. I went to Clay High School in Curtis, Ohio. I played safety and a little bit of running back and some quarterback as well. My favorite high school memory would be our last game, my junior year. We played a parochial school, St. Francis, and it was just a mud game. It had rained all week, just poured, and we were just playing in a mud pit. So had a couple picks that game, and it was a lot of fun. And my best advice to a high school athlete would just to be, obviously take your school seriously, take your education very seriously. And as far as athletically, just play hard, enjoy the process, because not everybody can play at the next level, and very few will, but just enjoy it and live in the moment.
Vera Cadillac Buick GMC is awarding the Teacher of the Year Awards to a teacher in Miami-Dade and a teacher in Broward County. Fans can nominate a teacher by logging on to southfloridahighschoolfootball.com. Click on the Vera Teacher of the Year icon. Nominations are open until December 30th. The teachers will receive a beautiful crystal trophy and a 6-month lease from Vera Cadillac Buick GMC, and their school receives a $2,000 donation. Tune in to our National Signing Day TV show on February 3rd, where the winners will be announced.
You know why I brought you here today? Metro gives you unlimited data, talk, and text, taxes and fees included for $30, period. Holy! With 4G LTE data included.
We love LTE data.
On the nationwide 4G LTE T-Mobile network. Now, let's take some selfies. Switch to Metro PCS for nationwide 4G LTE, $30, period. Plus a free 4G LTE phone after instant rebate. Now, let's get a picture of your free phone taking a picture of my free phone.
For outdoor projects large or small, avoiding buried utility lines is more than food for thought.
What happened?
Know what's below. You or your contractor should always call 811 before you dig. Utilities will mark your lines for free. Brought to you by Tico Peoples Gas.
You love movies. Join the club and the movies will love you back. The Regal Crown Club. With every visit, you earn credits toward free movies, popcorn, and soft drinks. Plus, with a valid email, you'll get money-saving offers and special invitations to exclusive events. Grab a card at the box office, activate it at regmovies.com, or visit our Regal Movies mobile app. Then earn rewards with a swipe or scan of your card right from your phone. So share the love. Join the club, the Regal Crown Club.
The South Florida High School Football Show's Coaches segment is sponsored by Adidas. Stay up to speed with the fastest brand in football on Twitter and Instagram by following @AdidasFBallUS.
We're back on the South Florida High School Football Show. Joe Zagacki alongside my broadcast partner, Don Bailey Jr. at the Regal Entertainment Group Theater in Plantation, right in between Pine Island and University, where we are more than just a movie. We're going to go up now to Chaminade Madonna High School. Jason Milgram is the head coach there. He's done a good job coming over from St. Thomas. He has the Lions on the rebound. They have a huge game next week. They'll take on Westminster Christian. Most likely that game will decide the district.
Well, Joe, he's done a nice job. He took the traditions and the things that he learned at St. Thomas, and he's implementing them now at Chaminade. The fact that they had won there, he had George Smith for many, many years that laid a great foundation at that high school, and he was smart enough to take the things that worked with him, and now they're working for him.
Chaminade had a legendary coach back in the 60s, 70s, and early 80s, and Vince Sapone. Perhaps one day Jason Milgram will be a legendary coach as well. Our cameras caught up with him and asked him how is his first year going.
Great. Couldn't ask for a better staff and a better group of kids. We got here in February and we started with the off-season conditioning program and got these kids understanding what it takes to be competitive around this county and around the state. And, the kids have 100% done exactly what the coaches have asked them, and, it's translated on the football field so far, so we're excited. It starts with hiring a great staff, you know what I mean? And that was one of the things that I was able to do when I got over here, made some great acquisitions with some key guys, in some key positions, and word starts spreading around the community. And, obviously I was at Aquinas for 17 years and, won a few games over there, and people understood that, and, we've attracted some kids into the program and, kept the ones that were here. So, it's a great start so far. It's the only thing I know. I've been over there for my entire life. I played over there and, coached over there forever under Coach Smith. And, so my philosophies and a lot of the things that we do are very similar to what goes on over there. And, I think you bring it in over here and it's new and it's a new culture. And our kids, I don't like to use the term buying in because there is no buying in. We do it a certain way and you're going to do it the way we do. And that's it. If you can't do it the way we do it, you can't be part of the program. And, our kids have done it exactly the way we've asked them to do, and it's translating out here on the field. Running back Sean Travers gets a lot of credit. We're a lot better up front, I think, than people actually give us credit for or actually know about. Our front, we're about 7 deep on the offensive line, which is great. And all of those guys are big, and all of them are mobile, and they're all physical, and they can play. And our offensive line coaches do a great job of getting those guys going week to week. Defensively, we're fast, and we are excellent on the defensive side. Our defensive coordinator, Brian Sheridan, and those defensive staff guys have put in a ton of work with film breakdown and getting these kids ready. And we're actually very, very good and physical on defense and fast. The Chaminade community has been absolutely unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it, even at Aquinas. This is a real family environment that I've never seen before. The alumni is great. The old coach, Vince Sapone, is absolutely incredible. He's been a great sounding board for myself and a great resource. And everybody from the faculty to the administration, just an unbelievable team effort. We're going to be hard-nosed. We're going to be tough. We're going to play physical football. We're going to play for 48 minutes, and we are going to be well coached. We're going to be disciplined. We're not going to do anything, obviously, to embarrass our school or embarrass this program. And at the end of the day, we're trying to make great kids. You know what I mean? And the object is for these kids to be. I tell them all the time, great football teams don't win championships. Great people win championships. So we're trying to get great people on this team, and the success will translate onto the field.
All right, Jason, thank you very much, and the best of luck. By the way, they didn't have those facilities there when I was there.
See, Joe, if they would have, we never know what it would have been differently, right?
There's some pretty nice stuff going on there right now. All right, we'll continue. When we come back, our favorite segment, we'll go around Miami-Dade and Broward County and take a look at next weekend's big games right here on the South Florida High School Football Show.
Remember, South Florida high school football fans, you can stay in the know with the latest news and updates by following us on social media. Follow us on Twitter at HSFBall, Instagram at SFHSFS, and be sure to like us on Facebook at South Florida High School Football. American nominees: Emmett Rice of Norland High School. Emmett is 6'2" and weighs 188 pounds. Emmett is a 4-star recruit with offers from Florida State University, Alabama, the University of Miami, Ohio State, and the University of Florida. An outside linebacker with a 4.75 40-yard dash, Emmett is a key player, Freddie Pinder of Miami Southridge. Freddie is 6'5" and weighs 195 pounds. With a 4.6 40-yard dash and a length at 6'5", he is listed as a 4-star recruit. Pinder has fantastic height and moves with fluidity down the field.
Bro, just watch what I do.
This the game that chose us. Pioneers started in 24. Bet he don't do it. Sliding up the block.
See that, Jimmy?
Masterpiece. That's that new speed.
The following are real customer testimonials.
I'm Davina from Pembroke Pines, and I buy my Cadillacs at Vera, and I get the best prices with no hassles. I love Vera.
We are Don and Scott from Davie. We bought our GMC Sierra from Vera. It was the most fun we've had buying a car, and it was the best price in South Florida.
Experience the Vera difference at Vera Cadillac Buick GMC Pembroke Pines. Vera is 4 miles north of Sun Life Stadium.
Closed caption sponsored by Regal Cinemas, where we are more than just a movie.
We continue now on the South Florida High School Football Show. Joe Zagacki with Don Bailey Jr. We're at the Regal Entertainment Group Theater in Plantation, where we are more than just a movie. In fact, we are clairvoyant because we are going to take a look into our crystal ball on all of the games that will be played next weekend.
Okay, sir, make the prediction.
Okay, you ready to go? All right, here we go. We're going to begin on Thursday. Palmetto will be home against Edison. Palmetto got up to a good start. Edison, they've got a lot of athletes.
That they do, Joe. Let's go Red Raiders.
Okay, Carroll City is home on Thursday night against Southwest.
You know where I'm going, right with the Chiefs.
I got you right there. Okay, in Broward County on Friday night, this is going to be a really good game. Mark Wandolo, Cypress Bay at home against Miramar.
I'm taking Cypress Bay.
I know where you're going with this one. American will be at Hialeah, Miami Lakes.
Well, HML, Trojans got to take it.
Columbus is having another great season. They'll be at North Miami.
Let's go Pioneers.
Coral Gables got a great running attack. They'll be home against Hialeah.
I'm going with the running game.
Coral Park trying to find some winning ways. They'll be at Braddock.
Let's go Braddock.
All right, Dade Christian is home against the University School.
Well, I know everybody wants University School, but I'm going Dade Christian.
All right, Miami High will go down south. They'll play at Harris Field against Homestead. Tough to beat Homestead down there.
Yeah, it is. So let's go with Homestead.
All right, we talked a lot about Hollandale. Hopefully we didn't jinx them. Hollandale will be home against Coconut Creek.
You know what? We're going to go Hollandale. So if it is going to be a jinx, it's going to be a full-fledged jinx.
All right, well, we also talked a lot about St. Thomas. They go on the road. This has always been a great game. They'll take on Deerfield. I think St. Thomas has too much.
I do too. I'm going St. Thomas.
This is the Pig Bowl. Western at Cooper City. I'm taking Cooper City.
Okay, I'll take Western.
Oink, oink. South Broward will be at Stranahan. Stranahan is putting together a pretty nice team.
Yeah, they are, and that's why I'm going to pick them.
All right, this is an old-fashioned game. On Saturday, Northwestern is going to be at Booker T.
Oh, you're going to get me in trouble on this one. Let's go Northwestern.
All right, let's go back to Friday. Finish up the Friday games. Central is home against Jackson.
Well, let's go Central.
I love this game. Killian at South Ridge.
Killian at South Ridge. I'm going with Killian.
This one could decide the district. We just spoke with their head coach. Chaminade Madonna goes down south to take on Westminster Christian.
We're going with Chaminade Madonna.
There you go. We'll go with the Lions in their running attack. Dillard is home against Monarch.
Got to go with Dillard.
South Plantation at Everglades.
Everglades.
And then Boyd Anderson will be home against Coral Springs.
And we got to go with Boyd Anderson.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. I'll go with Boyd Anderson as well. All right. Of course, I could use this pen. It could be a dart because that's pretty much what we're doing. Hopefully you enjoyed our selections. You can find out if we are right or wrong on our show next week, which next week begins at 6:30 a.m. So if you can't get up at 6:30 a.m., you can DVR it or go to our website, southfloridahighschoolfootball.com.
I recommend going to the website and sleeping in a little bit. Just kidding.
Any one of the three will do. Thank you so much for joining us. Get out to see your local high school. We'll see you next week at 6:30 a.m. right here on the South Florida High School Football Show. So long, everyone.
The South Florida High School Football Show has been sponsored by the Miami Dolphins, Metro PCS, U.S. Army, Vera Cadillac Buick GMC, Tico Peoples Gas, Adidas, and Regal Cinemas.
They try to start something, be smart. Play physical, but be smart. Stay low, keep your feet moving. Get in that backfield, fellas. Let's make this our game, fellas. You hear me? Let's go. Let's go. Big boys on three. 1, 2, 3. Big boys.